Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Hey everyone, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully you guys are having a great night. I had to put some eye drops in, so hopefully it doesn't look like I'm tearing up or anything, because I'm not yet anyway. But welcome in everybody. It's good to see you guys. I may have to blow my nose though. I might have to do that. But we'll welcome in some people. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya, or Titanium Built. It's nice to meet you. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happened today. And there was a couple interviews that came out with the families. And we'll go over those, and we'll go over some other stuff, some documents and stuff tonight, because it's been a taxing day today, I feel like. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, baby girl. Welcome in. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Kathy. Look at that. Hey, Mary Beth. How's your new job? How's everything going? I feel bad for the families too. I saw a video of Steve outside of the courthouse, and it breaks my heart. Like, he walked, it's a video, and he walks Christy up to the door and gives her a kiss, and, says, "I love you," or something, whispers to her. And then she walks in, and it's just really sad. It's really, really sad. So, hey, Tom, how you doing? We got everybody in here. Hey, Maga Mama. I'll get it right one of these days. Hey, Mandy. Hey, DM. It's been an emotionally taxing day. I went down to the pool for a little bit after, and then I was only down there for like an hour, and I wish I would have stayed down longer, but I'll tell you a funny story. I was putting my hair up in like a bun, just like I normally would. But I didn't realize that I was pulling my extension like really hard. I'm not like, I can feel pain. I just don't know how to explain it. I can't feel it when something's like really bothering me. I'll ignore it. Like, so it could have been like giving me signals and I wasn't paying attention. And so I had to go because it was like coming off. I was like, what's going on here? So she fixed it for me. It didn't charge me or anything, which was awesome. But she fixed it and she was like, you pulled it off. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, one of the beads. So I like pulled like my hair out, literally. So now I can't pull it up when I go to the pool. So it's kind of sad because, you know, I want to get in the pool, but I can't get in because of the hair. So it's like, great. Hey, Mia Mori. For first world problems, you know. Hey, Jog. Payne was there today, actually. He was in the courtroom. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? How's Dale? Hey, Groovy Nikki, how you doing? And if I miss you, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a 2 for Tanya Wednesday. I wasn't going to come on, and then I was like, well, no, go ahead, go on there. Hey, True Crime Other Stuff. It's been a while, I feel like. Hey, Ishi. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. he didn't say it. Bill Thompson said, I'm still stuck on that front door. I was actually, it's been like really sad today. Like I'm going through these tabs, like all of my tabs on my computer, not the tabs that you go into like your internet site, but like, you know, the ones that you can save, like you can save like articles or whatever. Mine are all, except for one is like for taxes for my business, but they're all either Idaho 4 or Madalena Kojikari, but there's only one Madalena Kojikari. The rest are all either like they have their names too, like Kaylee documents, Xana explanation of something. All the unconscious call. Remember that like someone came out with an explanation when it first happened. Oh, we should read back through those and see how right they were. Hey, Nicole, you're not behind Bill Thompson's fake choking up after reading victims' names. Yeah. I don't know. I guess half the victims' families were for it. Half of them kind of were against it. I personally, I think it just happened so fast. And that is the problem too. You know, not just that they were kind of just told in an email. It was just kind of brushed over, you know, Friday. Like, I think that they should have had them all come in person and sit down with them and explain to them what evidence they had. Like, if that's all the evidence that they had, they should have been like, this is all we have. Like, what if we go to trial and we, you know, one juror, you know, says they can't, you know, convict or something. Like, there's a way that they could have explained this to the family members, I feel like, to where they could better understood maybe where they were coming from. It doesn't look good when, you know, Bill Thompson's 1 foot's out the door because, you know, and then all of a sudden he's out. I don't believe that he wouldn't have taken it to trial in a way because he was already this far in, right? What's another 3 months? Like, go out with a bang, right? That's what I would want. I would still like, I would want that. I would want that, like that win, you know, just like in the Alec Murdaugh case. What? I can't ever remember his name now, but I love that guy. The prosecutor in that case. He plays the lead guitar also in his band that he's in. And I know someone will probably remember. It was probably with me, Ashley, but it's like right there. I can't think of it. But he got that awesome win with the Murdaugh trial, and then he retired and he went off to play his, you know, bass guitar, and we were all happy for him, right? Well, I don't feel the same way. I put clothes on too. I had on a different clothes. You know what? I'm wearing black all day today though. I just realized that. What is it? It is like a funeral today. I was drained too. Kohberger and Diddy. I know Diddy too. And I feel bad for the victims with Diddy. I mean, if they denied his bail. He had a bail hearing today, but I think they're going to let him out too. Come like October. I think his sentencing is in October. He's going to be outie. Probably have another white party. Your ears bothering you? I know. It's been a rough day for you too, huh, Mia? I feel like the justice system didn't do very well today. Hey, Lenora, welcome in. The things we do for beauty. I know, right? Yeah, it hurt. I guess it's just because I was pulling it up too tight, but I miss being able to pull my hair up. I'm getting to the bottom of the chat. Hey, Trips. How are you doing? Hey, Felicia. I know my feelings are mixed too. I'm still in shock, like, so what do I think tipped the bucket? I think that Ann Taylor had a couple things left in her arsenal, right? And I think after it was either Thursday or Friday, it was the 26th, but I don't know if they dropped it that day before or the day after, because sometimes the documents will come after or the day after. But she wanted to do the alternate perpetrator theory, and he said no to that. And then he said no to her having a continuance. And so I think mixed with that, and maybe some of this stuff that was coming out from Dateline about the searches that he was searching, like that kind of stuff, maybe he didn't want his mama to hear. Like I'm just trying to think of, that's the only thing I could think of, is he didn't want his mama to hear some of this stuff that he did. I guess she was crying in the courtroom today. We couldn't see them. And his dad, I guess, was trying to console her a little bit. I don't know if she's crying. There was no tears, I guess they said, but she couldn't see like her face, but she said it looked like she was crying. Creighton Walters. Yes, that's who it is. Trips, and I was cool with that. I'm like, you go play that guitar. Me too, Crafty One. I feel like something's just missing. Like See, Jog, I didn't think Diddy was going to walk like that. Money talks, yeah. Yeah. Today was a bad day for justice. I think Creighton retired afterwards. I know that the judge did. Actually, I know the judge did. I think Creighton did too. Beetlejuice said I got kicked out of the other chat because I said BK was guilty. Some people are not ready to admit it, I guess. Right, Poindexter, yeah. It's him and him alone. I mean, he said it today. I mean, he did, Yeah, Creighton. I forgot his name. I knew it was something like with the C. I couldn't think of it. 963 days. Yeah, I saw that on I think it was like Maddie's mom's or Maddie's they put a statement out, and I was just like, when they said how many days, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, wow. Like that's a long time to cover a case. It like we've covered cases that were longer before they went to trial, like Sarah Boone and like cases like that, but we didn't cover that. I wasn't on the platform in 2020. So you know what I mean? Like I came on the platform in 2022, September. So this was like one of the first cases I covered. I wasn't even going to do lives. Like lives weren't a part of my like what I was going to do with my channel. I was just going to do pre-recorded videos and tell the story, but it was this case. Well, Kylie Rodney's case, I feel like I did a couple lives there. And then this case, sorry, this case really got me like started into doing lives because there was always something coming out and I always wanted to talk about it, Yeah, she threw her Hail Marys. Yep. Extreme Blonde, you're right. Yeah, they were rejected. And I guess she won in a way because she got him off the death penalty. I still don't know if that's it. I don't. Is he gonna like that? Like, I mean, I'm not like I don't care what he likes or doesn't like, but I'm just sitting here like, you sure about that, buddy? Like, are you sure you didn't want to, not do that? But I guess BTK did the same kind of deal. Except for BTK, he actually like sat up there and he said he was like guilty like 40 times. And I think he said the victims' names, or he at least admitted to what he did. Like he told what he did. I feel like this week we should go back over like the last couple documents that came out and just kind of see. But that's where my brain is going on why they might have, did that. Oh, I have scroll moments all the time, Kathy. It's crazy. I'm going to send Ashley, I'm going to send Bryan Kohberger a bill, I think. I'm not kidding. I really think we're going to do it together. I think I'm going to I don't know. I know how much I think my time's worth. I don't get paid what I think my time's worth, let's say. But we're going to tally it up. All the hours, all the lives. And you'll be able to know too, Ashley, because you were there for most of all my lives, probably all of them. Oh, thanks, Beetlejuice. Thanks for the compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. Xana was very pretty. Princess, your allergies too? Mine are too. I don't know what's going on. You do. You and Xana do have the same birthday. I'm still going to get my nails done. And we're still going to do the fundraiser for her and everything. And for the other victims, that's not going to stop. And this week we'll do our members giveaway. I forgot that yesterday. I wanted to do it like what was it? What's today? See, I don't even know what day it is. We're Wednesday. Okay. I think it was Sunday or Monday. It was the day we found out about everything. And I completely just forgot. Like, it was one of those things where it was like, oh my God, Bryan just took a plea deal, and I totally forgot. So I'm sorry, guys. I didn't forget about you, though. I have it wrote down too. Wrote down because I'll look at it. Yeah, BTK did lots of talking. Yeah. Does this mean I can get the TA position at Washington? It might still be open. Hey, maybe I could get it. I went to school for criminal justice. I got my bachelor's. Let's go. Let's just do it. I know you've been here with me from the job, and everyone just better continue to love true crime because that's where we're going with this. But I am going to start implementing some more pre-recorded videos in with my live stream videos. More of me, just like me talking and, going over the case and telling you the timeline and stuff like that. And then of course we'll always do like our lives and stuff like that. Of course we will. Cause I like hanging out with y'all. Yeah. And don't forget to hit the like button if you guys don't mind. Okay. Are we okay? We're good. I've been talking your guys' ear off. I'm like, we're already like 17 minutes in. I was just trying to make it in a little bit because I know that they like to get you sometimes. If you talk for a few minutes, they won't get you. I think this is where I wanted to be. Nope. Wanted to be here. Okay. I'm going to refresh the page just in case. Okay. So we have 2 new documents that came out today after after we watched, him live. So it's miscellaneous, written factual basis, and then a plea agreement. And I'm going to put on my glasses. They're not very long documents. And it seemed like today the judge was ready to like disseminate all the stuff, but like the prosecutor, like Bill Thompson, was kind of like, well, we should just like save it until sentencing, which I mean is whatever, but the judge even looked like he was ready just to get it disseminated and stuff. Like he was just ready to be, I think he was ready to be over it, I guess. I don't know. Is that on the website or is that like, I don't know. Look at that. 19 months, DM. Thank you for being a member for so long. And thank you for being with me for so long. The live feed, you should be on it, Kathy. I can see you. Okay. So the first document we'll go through is the miscellaneous written factual basis. And it's this one here. And then I'm going to show you guys at the end too, after we're done reading these, where they took off the trial and everything. It's all like vacated and it just kind of looks sad, I guess it's because we were ready to do something and it just isn't happening. But I do think overall, I think Kohberger is going to end up telling more about what happened. I think that he's going to end up trying to work with Ramslin, or she may go to him and he may say, I don't want to talk to you. But, I think that he does want to be studied, I think at first he wanted to study the criminals. And if you can't beat them, join them, right? So now he's on the other side. But this is what the written factual basis looks like. Let me blow it up a little bit so you guys can see it too. But it says, it was filed today. It says, I hereby admit responsibility to count 1, which is IC 18-1403, burglary, which requires the following elements. On November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, the unlawful entry of a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the crime of murder. Do you think that if he was going in there to commit the crime of, like, let's say SA, he would admit to that? Like, I don't think he would, probably. But instead of like them putting murder there, you know what I mean? I don't know. I hereby admit responsibility to count 2, murder in the first degree, which requires the following elements. On November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, the willful, unlawful, deliberate, with premeditation and with malice and forethought, killing and murder Madison Mogan. Count 3 is going to be the same, but it's going to be for the murder of Kaylee Gonzalez. Count 4 is the same, but it's the killing of Xana Kernodle. Count 5 is the same, but it's going to be the murder of Ethan Chapin. I plead guilty to counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on my own volition. And they just marked out that. That's how much they care. Didn't even print up a new document and just put July and then had him sign it. This is crazy. Look at all the attorneys on here. We got William, Ashley, Joshua. I guess there's only 3, but it just looks like a lot because there's a lot of, they have like their name and then what their duty is. So this is the plea agreement for Bryan, obviously. The state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney's office, the defendant Bryan C. Kohberger and the defendant's attorney and Taylor stipulate to the following plea agreement. The defendant will enter guilty pleas to the following counts: burglary, Idaho code, gives the code, a felony in count 1, murder in the first degree, and that's going to be code 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. A felony in count 2, murder in the first degree, Idaho code 18-4001, 4002, 4003, 4004. A felony in count 3, murder in the first degree. Felony in count 4, and murder in the first degree, and felony in count 5 as stated in the indictment. Number 2, the defendant will be sentenced to 10 years fixed for count 1, which is the burglary charge. The defendant will receive fixed consecutive life sentences for counts 2 through 5. This state will seek restitution orders regarding funeral expenses and crime victims' compensation reimbursement in an amount to be determined. Now, how does that work, I wonder? Because Kohberger was a PhD student, no money. He was a TA so he can get a school paid for. How is he going to pay for anything if he's locked up in a jail making 25 cents an hour? I don't know. If I was the victims, I would say I want him to write me a check once a month for $1, just so he has to remember my daughter or my son for the rest of his life. I don't know if you'd want to get that check for $1 though, keep getting them, but I don't know how they would get restitution. I hope they get something though. I hope all the profits for any of his books goes to them. Defendant understands, A, the nature of the charge to which the defendant agrees to plead guilty and acknowledges that he is not being coerced into entering his plea of guilty. B, the consequences of pleading guilty, including the maximum penalties that may be imposed and any mandatory minimum penalties. And that C, by pleading guilty, he waives his right to a jury trial, to confront accusers, and to refrain from incriminating himself. Defendant further acknowledges that he is satisfied with his legal representation, has reviewed with his attorney all possible defenses, and by his plea of guilty voluntarily waives those defenses and all claims based upon his constitutional rights. And did you hear the judge today when he's asked Ann Taylor, did you have enough time to go through the discovery before like making this decision or something like that? And she was like, yep. And I'm like, are we living in the same world that we were living in last week when she was just asking for a continuance because she couldn't get through the discovery? Okay, whatever. 6, defendant understands that if were to proceed to trial, he would have a right to appeal, including but not limited to A, any issues decided by the court prior to the defendant's guilty plea, including any rulings on the inadmissibility of evidence, B, the judgment, including the finding of guilt and any issue regarding the guilty plea, and C, the sentence. Further, the defendant understands that if were to proceed to trial, he would have the right to file a motion under Idaho Criminal Rule 35 seeking a reduction of the sentence. The defendant hereby knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waives all rights to appeal any and all issues in this case and waives the right to file a motion pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 35. Oh, and that's it. And then this 7, this is the entire agreement and understanding between the parties. Like, that's crazy. All of this, 360 some days came down to a 3-page document. Basically, if you want to, we'll count the 4th page, the one I just read. All those documents we've read. Do you know how many documents we've read on this channel? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. 300? I don't know. 200? More? Less? What do you guys think? I don't know. We've read every single one of them. Oh, we've read so many. I'm going to have to count them. I might have to count them sometime. That's going to go into my bill to Kohberger. I feel like I've been part of his defense, even though I didn't defend him. Right. Never mind the books I read, right? And could that not have been more perfect? We literally just ended that book the day before. And if we would have got this, I feel like if we would have gotten the hearing, sorry, my throat's dry. If we would have gotten like the plea deal before the book was done, I think that we probably wouldn't have even wanted to read the book anymore. We would have been like, oh, we're fine. We're cool. But I'm glad that we got through it. It wasn't a bad book. It wasn't too bad. Coming from somebody that lived, in Idaho. So if you guys didn't catch it, we did read a book over the last, it was like a week and a half. And they're all listed. But here is the case summary. Everything has been vacated except for the sentencing. It's going to be July 23rd. So basically, if you're just now coming in, I think everybody saw the hearing. But if you, man, my throat is so dry. If you guys didn't see the hearing today, put a 2 in the chat because we're going to end up watching it again sometime soon. If not today, maybe tomorrow night because I want to go through it again along with the PCA because I feel like he kind of read off the PCA today. But they are doing sentencing. So just a couple of you guys. Yeah, if you live under a rock. Okay, so you guys, you won't miss anything, but if we don't play the video tonight, but I'll make sure that we play it at least tonight or tomorrow because it was a really good hearing today. I mean, it was the I guess the second to the last hearing that we're probably going to really listen to, next hearing will be, so basically sentencing and victims impact statements are going to be the same day. And that's scheduled on the 23rd of July. So Judge Hippler already had a bunch of days, months blocked off for the courthouse to be free of any court hearings at all. No proceedings were going to be taking place in that whole courthouse. That's 6 floors just for Bryan Kohberger. They're probably saving a lot of money doing this way, but still. So they are going to do the victims impact statements. So anybody that is, part of the victim side and Bryan's parents will be able to stand up and give a little bit of, about their experience and what they went through. And it's going to be incredibly sad. So bring your tissues for that day. We may even hear from Bryan's family. You never know. I would want to say something if I was Bryan's parents, not necessarily to the victims, not necessarily, but if it was one of the last times I'm going to talk to my son before he's booted, carted off to prison, I would probably want to take that time to say something about him and tell the judge, even though there's not going to be no leniency, maybe tell the judge, like ask the judge for it. But I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? Like, sorry about that. I mean, man, well, he don't have an estate. His parents do, but he doesn't. He's a grown-ass adult. They'll go after anything he has, nothing that they have. And then he could just file bankruptcy. That a lot of, if people tell you that you can't do that, you can. People can just be like crazy and be filing bankruptcy and getting out of stuff. It's craziness. I tell you. Your granddaughter will be 18. Aw. Hey, Midwest. Welcome in. Hey, Betsy. Yeah, Brian could say something. I don't think he will, but Well, I know Peacock, I heard anyway, the Peacock offered them $1 million. They didn't take it, so I don't know. We'll have to see if they change their mind. Yeah, I mean, no, it's not the parents' fault. I wonder though if they ever if they thought about this. I wonder how long they've known. I wonder how long his parents knew that he was going to plead guilty or that he was guilty. I mean, I want to know if he told them. I'm assuming that he did. I'm assuming that he said on Friday or over the weekend, sometime before so they can get travel arrangements because they had to be in court today, on Wednesday. And they just found out, what was it, Sunday? They mentioned it in Friday's meeting, I guess, with the families, but they just skimmed over it, is what we're hearing. But if we go off of when we found out, what was it, Sunday or Monday? Monday. So they literally had a day and a half to get there. I think he called him over the weekend maybe and told him, was like, I got to take this plea deal. I don't know exactly what he would say. His mom's not for the death penalty. So, oh man, there's some pictures in here I wanted to show you guys. So we'll go through this article, and then I thought it was some stuff in this article was good too. But and then Fox got a lot of different pictures of the victims' family members going and entering court and stuff, and they're good pictures. But it says Bryan has pled guilty to the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. On Wednesday at the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, Judge Stephen Hippler approved a plea agreement that spares Kohberger 30 from the death penalty. In exchange, he will serve 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. As part of the agreement, Kohberger pled guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. He did so with both of his parents in the gallery, with his father wincing as Judge Stephen Hippler formally accepted Kohberger's agreement. Sentencing has been set for July 23rd. I would love to see what his parents look like. Look at his face. Look at his haircut. Where's his eyebrows? Okay, you all heard me today say, where is his eyebrows, right? Where'd they go? Let me see if I can slow this up more. I just got so much stuff over here. Are you kidding? That's all you're going to let me do? Yeah, that's all it's going to let me do. Well, that stinks. That didn't let me really do much. I don't know why, I'm not good with the trackpad. I'm really not. But that's as close as I get it. But his eyebrows, they be gone. I think he shaved them off. Do you think he would do that as a thing, the FU? I don't know. They look gone. He literally took them off. He was like, I'm done with the eyebrows. Where'd they go, Kohberger? And oh my gosh, can we just appreciate this though? At least doesn't have to wear another ugly ass tie, because Anne picks out the ugliest ties for this kid to wear. I think that's back to where it was. I don't know if you can see his tie, but it's it looks like a tablecloth. Oh, there's none. I thought that was gonna let me go over there. There's the students there, and they still have Bethany and Dylan blocked off like that. We all don't know what they look like. But the case has drawn national attention since the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, when 4 students, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Gonzalez, were found stabbed to death in an off-campus rental home in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger, a former PhD criminology student at nearby Washington State University, was arrested in December 2022 after a cross-country investigation. I think this picture is a really good picture of them. It's heartbreaking, but it's a good picture. I feel so bad for Christy. So they're going to start, the other evidence is going to come out after the sentencing. I put a FOIA in today, so should get it right after sentencing because he said he was going to release everything. Oh, there's more pictures here. So this is Kaylee's family. And then that's Maddie's mom and stepdad and their attorney. And there's her family again. This almost looks like her uncle. Like he looks like her mom to me. I mean, they look like they would be siblings or something. And we'll listen to this interview that they did. It says, immediately following the hearing, the Mogan family issued a heartfelt statement through their attorney, Leander James, on the steps of the courthouse. We now embark on a new path, James said on behalf of the family. We turn from tragedy and mourning. We turn from darkness and uncertainty of the legal process to the light of the future. We have closure. We embark on a path of hope and healing. We invite all of those who have mourned with us to join us, and we wish you well. He is so small. I saw his hands in someone else's picture. You can see his wrist, and his wrists are small as mine. His waist is as small as mine. I'm pretty sure we're wearing the same size pants. Oh wait, let's go back this way. Okay, so there's him and Anne. Wonder what she's showing him. Your future. This is where you'll be staying. I wonder what she's thinking. Look at how small his wrists are. Look at him. There is a mark right there on his hand. And that's the hand from the traffic stop. Do you see the marks? It looks like a straight mark right here and then a circle. Oh, I'm going to try to see. I'm going to turn my camera off. Sometimes if I turn my camera off, I could use the trackpad. Don't ask me why. I can do it then, but let's see if I could do it now. Isn't that weird? Let's see. I think it's my hands are too soft or something. Yeah, no, it won't let me go up. It's just not letting me zoom in on it. Well, okay, then fine. I'll have to think of a different way. I'll get it to zoom in eventually. But yeah, you can if you can zoom in, or if you can just look at the picture, you can see there's a circle and then a slit right here. And then a mark. Is his tie too short? Or is that how it usually is? I'm just asking. I'm just curious. I'm not making fun of him. I'm just wondering. I'm making fun a little bit. Oh, there he is from the side. Can you see the eyebrows a little more, maybe? I mean, he did something to them damn eyebrows. I don't care. Somebody needs to ask him, dude, where's your brows, man? It's not because it's summertime and he's outside and his hair bleaches because he's not outside. He's, in jail. Can you imagine though, that guy looking at you? Look at that face. And he could take direction very, very well. Very well. The sentiment drew a stark contrast. They're comparing the interviews to remarks made by Steve Concavas, the father of Kaylee, as he arrived at the courthouse but chose not to attend the hearing. He is going to own this, Steve Concavas said of Judge Stephen Hippler. He's going to inherit what Bill Thompson did, and he's the only one that can fix it. He's the one who can make it right. He needs to protect those other surviving victims and make this person say that they had nothing to do with it. He did it solely and he did it on his own and nobody else was responsible. When asked by reporters if he felt justice was served, the grieving father went on to slam the agreement that will have Kohberger serve 4 life sentences, saying, "No, of course not. It's daycare." Mm-mm. That looks like their lawyer right there, Huggins Christie. Or is that their son? That might be their son. Actually, I think it is Steve Jr. It is Steve Jr. Steve Jr. looks like his dad. He is growing into his father. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they look a lot alike. Oh, that's so sad. And then there's Ethan's family going in. His mom looks like she's on a mission to me in this picture. She's just like, I'm here. I'm here to, support my son. And I think she's just trying to get through the day, And then his brother and sister are right behind, following them in to court. I think they all had police, like chaperones, into the courthouse, which was nice. And there's Hunter, the other Hunter, with his head down. And then his girlfriend's back here. They all wore black too. Me too. What is it? I guess it's a morning day. Can you imagine having all those cameras just like all around you, and you're just, it would be so like nerve-wracking, I didn't see Olivia there. I was surprised that she wasn't with Steve. Oh man, his sister looks a lot like him. It just says, according to court documents, DNA from a knife sheath left at the crime scene matched Kohberger's, and cell phone data placed him near the victim's house multiple times before the killings. Surveillance footage was also captured a white Hyundai Elantra in the area. A grand jury indicted Kohberger in May 2023, and a judge initially entered not guilty pleas on his behalf. Prosecutors later announced their intent to seek the death penalty, citing the heinous nature of the crimes. Wow. Well, I guess all the people in Pennsylvania, they just went to court for no reason. Yeah. So Steve knew when Bryan Kohberger's dad, I guess, made the booking for them to fly out. I don't know how he knows. I mean, maybe it was just like a veiled threat, or maybe like a little threat. Maybe it's just like a jab. I don't know. We're going to watch it though. We're going to go through, because Brian's family did a statement as well. So where are we at? Okay. So this is their statement. It's coming from their attorney. So they do have an attorney. His parents do. Amori and Associates. And I'm going to show you something that's pretty humorous here in a minute. So just stick with me there. Statement on behalf of the Kohbergers. And this came out, actually, this was written up July 1st, but this came out after today's hearing. Like this just came out. So in light of recent developments, the Kohbergers are asking members of the media for privacy, respect, and responsible judgment during this time. We will continue to allow the legal process to unfold in respect to all parties and will not release any comments or take any questions. We ask that you respect our wishes during a difficult time for all those affected. I mean, I hope they have something to say during this victim's impact statement, right? I'm just reading. Betsy, I bet you she pissed. I mean, she's so mad. I bet you. I mean, it's going to affect a lot of people, I think, And we talk about this case a lot on the channel, a whole lot, but like we do have other cases that we, that I'll put into these, into this, like into ours. And we have like case reviews that we do and things like that. And I think a lot of people are going to not have that and they're going to be freaking out. But so I looked up this lawyer people, Amori and Associates, and I just like Google mapped them, and this is what it came up. So this is in Stroudsburg or Stroudsville, Pennsylvania. So this is where like down near where his parents live. If you just turn this way, right here at the end of the street, you got yourself a crosswalk in Pennsylvania. I laughed hard at that. I mean, I did. I needed the laugh. I needed it. Kohberger, remember when he got pulled over? He's like, we just don't have crosswalks in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Well, there you go. There's even if you go over here, there's even the little guy that tells you when to walk and when not to walk. There he is with his hand up. Don't go. Don't you walk. That would be jaywalking. I want to know why. I mean, I think I know the how for the most part, but maybe not maybe the how. I do have some questions. Really? In the Pines? Well, good. She needs to. She needed to because I'm so upset with that woman. I didn't even watch her interview. I'm not watching that interview. I'm so mad at her. She was just like, I read it. Something like, do you think that I gave him the idea? Do you think he got the idea from me or something like that? I'm like, no, he didn't get the idea from you. What do you, like, you are not that important. Like, you're just like Bryan Kohberger. You are not that important. Like, I don't know why people think they are important. So what happens to the TikTok girl? She's actually getting sued right now. So yeah, she's getting sued. I don't know if I don't know if they ended up like settling or anything. I don't think they did. I don't think they've done that yet. Very crazy. But yeah, it just made me laugh. So now they did come out, the Gonzalez family did come out with another statement after the plea. Brian Enton put it up on his Twitter. It's not on their YouTube. So I'm gonna actually repost it, but it's not on their YouTube. So I don't know if maybe they'll add it later, but it's here for us to read. So it says, today was the day for answers, the day to find out what happened, to find out really anything about the defendant did that night and why he took the lives of 4 beautiful people. At least that's what we hoped for, but hope is really all we had today. The plea started off with a judge who was angry about people reaching out to him and then went further to stand on his soapbox, stating nothing affects his decisions in this case or any other case, and he has not and will not read any comments. I thought that was rude when he said that. Maybe that wasn't the best way to start a plea involving the murder of 4 Idaho college students. Our hope is that the judge might reflect back on his decision today and take the high road next time and not make the plea of a murderer about him and his decisions. Maybe he will show some empathy to the victims' families who have been in this torture chamber for over 2 years while he only became involved a few months ago. Man, they're good with the writing. Then the plea began with the defendant claiming responsibility for his actions with one-word responses. All were sufficient for the court and the prosecution team, because that is what this plea was about today, the court and the prosecution. A plea that makes everything go away for them and lets them get back to their normal routine. This plea did not represent the victims' families. It represented an easy way out and no answers. Everyone loves the justice system until you get involved in it. Then you really see that most of the time the cases and resolutions have nothing to do with the victims. At least that was our experience. We will move on to sentencing and will be hopeful that the court will allow for some much needed grace moving forward, and finally the family won't have to deal with the bumbling Latah County prosecution team. Once again, we want to thank everyone for their continued support and prayers and appreciate everyone that has gone on this journey with us. Yeah, there was no today's hearing was very weird. It was just like, I've never heard Anne agree to things, like, you know what I mean? Just be like, yep, that's fine over here. Yep, we're good. We're all good. Like, I mean, did she have a list of things And she was like, okay, we did the list. Now we have nothing else. Like, you know what I mean? We can't use an alibi defense. We can't use an alternate perpetrator defense. I mean, no continuance. She was probably like, do you want to go on with this trial? And like, maybe I might have to put you on the stand. If you think that, if you are really that, you know, if you're really innocent, or like, I don't know, but to me, it's just insanity. So I wanted to show you what Steve said earlier today. He made a good point. Hey, Tumbleweed. I swear, Claw, he shaved them brows. I think he puts he got them cut with his hair. Definitely something. Where is all the hairs that he's been plucking with his fingers? Like, because they don't give you tweezers. It's just crazy to me. So this is Steve coming out. This is him outside of court because he never went in. And he has some things to say. They got this poor guy at a crosswalk.
He didn't give us the common courtesy to negotiate with us, even pretend. He could have just pretended and then lied, but he didn't even pretend. He basically said, your guys' input isn't needed.
The judge could hear one thought from me that he should remember. What is it?
He's going to own this. He's going to inherit what Thompson did, and he's the only one that can fix it. He's the only one who can make it right. He needs to protect those other surviving victims and make this person say that they had nothing to do with it. He did it solely. He did it all on his own, and nobody else was responsible. And then we won't keep having these supporters always saying that he got set up. We know what he's planning on doing. Somebody died, a vet died, and he's going to try to say that, put the blame on that person. So he's not going to take accountability. And Thompson didn't force him to take accountability. He didn't even negotiate. That's terrible.
You don't think 4 life sentences is justice?
No, of course not. It's daycare. Prison is daycare, people.
If you could tell the judge one thing today, what would it be?
Do what's right. Do what you know. I mean, 4 people died in their sleep. If we have 4 other people that weren't...
Look at these 2 guys.
This would be the death penalty.
What do you want us to know about Kaylee today?
Kaylee would be ashamed of what happened today.
What do you want to happen? Why do you want this to go to trial?
Because then my peers, this community, will decide that he's guilty. We can take it out of freaking Thompson's hands. One man shouldn't decide what 4 souls are worth.
You said they made a deal.
Yeah, they did. That's Thompson. Thompson made a deal with Kohberger. He was the only person that was considered.
What do you think of the other families who are glad this is happening?
Did you see her? Chanley Painter was in the side. Oh, so I think those are his. I'm just gonna say it, Steve. I gotta say it. Are you wearing Christie's readers? They look like Christie's readers. But I think they have a brand on the side of them, so maybe they're not No, they don't. That's just a reflection. I think these are Christie's readers. If he would have had the mutton chops, he needed those. He needed that facial hair. He looks like a badass when he has it. I ain't gonna lie. But I do hope with time and after the victim's impact statements that the families are able to have some sort of healing, because there's no healing when you're just in limbo, not knowing, what's going on, not knowing when the trial's happening, not knowing if a trial is happening. At least now we know that he's guilty. And yeah, really geeking me out because Brent has nothing to do with this. I used to talk to his best friend, and that guy got put through some shit. And yeah, he had nothing to do with this. That had everything to do with mental health and somebody, a military vet needing help in that moment. And a lot of people just take it and they are just like, yeah, let's just blame him for it. So, that's what people do. If that's what she's going to do, that's what she's going to do. Why didn't you blame him for the last 2.5 years then? Why is this new? Because this isn't new. This isn't new. We've known about Bryan Kohberger. I could pull up Facebook messages from 2 years ago when I talked to his friend. Like, I'm about to do it right now and go find them because I don't talk to anybody on there. It probably wouldn't take me but a second to find. I'm about to be like, when was all this going on? Look at this. Okay. Sounds like my dog's having a weird dream. Right here. 1 year ago. I thought it was longer than that. Let's see. Oh, he sent me voice messages. I forgot about those. I'm trying to see the date. Oh, wait, right here. December. Where did it go? December 18th, 2023. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, because we were making. And now I remember. Okay. We were just teasing. So, and like I went to this person, I went to his best friend as just me. Like, it was before I changed my name on my Facebook. So I was under my complete real government name, right? And I went to him as just a person that, you know, I had questions and I thought he can answer some, and he did. And yeah, he told me a little bit, he told me a lot about his friend, and he told me about their relationship, and, you know, just I think that he just had some PTSD, and I think he was going through like a mental break. And that's why I really do believe officers need to have like access to mental health, like facilitators or advocates, to where they can be like partnered with them and they can help in these situations. But I did want to show you guys this because this was the lawyer that came out for Maddie Mogen's family today, and just after the guilty verdict, what they said. So I thought we'd listen to it. Oh, let me go back a little bit.
From the
Good
afternoon.
Fast forward went on there.
I'm Leander James from the law firm of James, Vernon and Weeks in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I'm a victims' rights attorney. For the past 2 years, I've had the privilege and the honor to provide pro bono representation in this criminal case for Karen Laramie and Scott Laramie, the loving mother and stepfather of Maddie Mogen. I will be reading a statement of gratitude today from the Laramies. 962 days ago, we lost our Maddie, our kind, loving, vivacious, and caring daughter full of purpose and promise. We are grateful for the gift of her life, and we have grieved the loss of that life during each of these 962 days. We love you, Maddie, and we miss you. We are grateful for the gift of the young, vivacious, promising lives of Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. And we deeply, deeply mourn their senseless loss. We remain in solidarity with their families and friends, and we continue to shower them with our prayers and support. We are grateful for their prayers, love, and support that they have given us. They have helped us and sustained us during our darkest times. We are grateful to the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, and his dedicated and caring team, including victim coordinators, Kim and Stacy, who have helped to guide us through the sometimes confusing and disorienting legal process. Thank you for all your dedicated, diligent, and tireless commitment to justice and the successful outcome reached today. We support the plea agreement 100%. While we know there are some who do not support it, we ask that they respect our belief that this is the best outcome possible for the victims, their families, and the state of Idaho. We extend our deep gratitude to the many law enforcement officers and staff who worked tirelessly to obtain the critical evidence that brought justice today, including the Moscow Police Department, the FBI, the Idaho State Patrol, and the Lake County Sheriff's Department. We are deeply grateful to Judge Hippler and Judge John Judge before him. We thank you for your diligence, thoughtfulness, and judicial guidance. We appreciate the difficult work you have done to balance the rights of all involved and to uphold the rule of law. You have had our prayers and support throughout this case. We send our love and gratitude to the many family and friends who have supported us, cared for us, and helped us to heal our open emotional wounds. To the good people of North Idaho, who have showered us with kindness and support, we thank you. We also mourn today with you the recent tragic and senseless loss of two brave North Idaho firefighters. We extend our prayers and support to their families. You are not alone. We understand your pain. For all parents who have endured the loss of a child, we know recovery is a long and at times an almost unbearable journey. But you are not alone. And there is hope and there is healing. We thank those in the press who have respected our privacy and the grieving process, and the privacy and grieving process of the families of Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. To others in the press, we gently encourage you to do the same. We thank the many people across our nation and beyond who have reached out to us, prayed for us, and extended their kindness. You too have helped us on our journey to heal. We now embark on a new path. We turn from tragedy and mourning. We turn from darkness and uncertainty of the legal process to the light of the future. We have closure. We embark on a path of hope and healing. We invite all of those who have mourned with us to join us, and we wish you well. Thank you. I will now share a few words of my own. Over the past 2 years, I've been amazed and humbled by Karen and Scott's strength, endurance, and faith. They have uplifted me and so many. They founded a nonprofit to help others in the name of Maddie. They have been a beacon of hope amidst a dark and tragic time. To those young and bright attorneys out there looking for purpose and meaning in your profession, I invite you to join the effort of crime victim attorneys to bring victims justice with compassion, empathy, humility, and understanding. This case is not the end of violence. This case is not the end of lawlessness. We need your help to bring hope and healing to the innocent caught in the crossfire of life. Thank you all.
Okay. I was just seeing what I wanted to show you guys. What time is it? Wow, we've been on for like an hour. Okay. I saw that they did put on, we haven't watched anything on this for a while, on Court TV, actually. We haven't watched anything on this case or on any case actually on Court TV for a while, but they did have something that premiered, and it's pretty much was basically what I was going to go over anyway, but we could still go over it on my side as well. But what will life be like for Bryan Kohberger in prison? So they're going to go over that, and I think that's probably pretty important to kind of know, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're following and you want to keep following along, if you are just joining us, they are going to have sentencing on July 23rd and into the 24th if they need it. They are going to have victims impact statements the same day. So as the sentencing, he already knows what he's getting sentenced to, but it's basically going to be for the victims impact statements. We will be streaming that. It starts at 9 a.m. their time, so 11 a.m. our time. Last night, if you missed the live, we did go over like a little bit of what like what prison he might go to, and things of that nature. There are actually a lot more prisons not like a lot, but there's a few prisons in Idaho that are like state prisons that he could be sent to. I'm not sure exactly which one he'll be sent to, but we'll find out, during his sentencing, I'm sure. I did put in a FOIA request, so all that's already in. They're going to take out down the non-dissemination order after the sentencing, so we'll be free to look at a lot more stuff. So that's some good news too, you know. Hopefully they don't redact everything. That would be good. But we'll see what they say over here for a minute. We'll see what they've got to say. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button, and I'll pause this as we go along to see what they kind of say, put some context to it. I'm not sure if they go over the actual proceeding in this or not. Doesn't look, maybe, nope. It looks like they just have some people on today. Who's that? Okay, I thought that was someone else. Okay. We'll play this and see what happens. We'll see if we like it and enjoy it.
I'm Vinny Politan. The subject of my investigation is the tragic mass murder of 4 innocent University of Idaho students. Their alleged killer seems poised to admit to his crimes and take a deal to escape the firing squad.
We're all wearing black.
Here's the story. A nightmare that haunted Moscow, Idaho for 2.5 years came crashing to an unexpected end. The accused killer, the criminology PhD student, once poised to face the brutal facts of his alleged crime in an August trial, suddenly struck a plea deal with prosecutors. On June 30th, he agreed to plead guilty to the stabbing deaths of Kelly Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. In doing so, he avoided Idaho's death penalty, potentially execution by firing squad, and now faces 4 consecutive life sentences plus 10 years for burglary. The plea offer stunned the families. Still, prosecutors argued the deal guarantees a lifetime behind bars with no appeals, a resolution quicker and more certain than a trial rife with potential delays. A change of plea hearing is scheduled for July the 2nd, with sentencing expected later in the month. The courtroom saga may be close to over, but for grieving families, closure is impossible. Closure is impossible. I mean, this is an unexpected turn of events in this case. I didn't expect it, and it seems the families didn't expect it either. Now, each family has their own way to react to all of this, but Kelly Gonzalez's family and her father, Stephen, have been very outspoken, and her sister as well, Aubrey, have been very outspoken from the beginning of all of this, and have been there and have been strong for Kelly, and have you know what, pushed prosecutors in this case. They have posted their reaction to some of the developments in what has transpired in the past few days. I want you to take a look and a listen to these posts from social media. One of our producers, Janet McGowan, is going to read them for you. But take a listen. I think it gives you an idea of what's going on with this family.
It's true. We are beyond furious at the state of Idaho. They have failed us. Please give us some time. This was very unexpected. We appreciate all your love and support. Hello, my name is Aubrey Gonzalez, and I'm the youngest member of the Gonzalez family. What the families of Ethan, Kaylee, Maddie, and Xana have endured over the past 2.5 years is beyond comprehension. We've had faith in the system, but at this point, it's impossible not to acknowledge the truth. The system has failed these 4 innocent victims and their families. The introduction of this plea deal just weeks before the scheduled trial is both shocking and cruel. Bryan Kohberger, facing life in prison, means he would still get to speak, form relationships, and engage with the world. Meanwhile, our loved ones have been silenced forever. That reality stings more deeply when it feels like the system is protecting his future more than honoring the victim's past. The justice system was created to serve and protect, not to re-traumatize grieving families. And yet, time and time again, we find ourselves blindsided, unheard, and unsupported. This last-minute plea deal feels less like an act of justice and more like an afterthought. We did talk to the prosecutor on Friday about the possibility of a plea deal, and it was a hard no from our family. Sunday night, we received an email that sent us scrambling. We met with the prosecution again today to reiterate our views on pushing for the death penalty. Unfortunately, all of our efforts did not matter. We did our best. We fought harder than anyone could ever imagine. The death penalty is merely an illusion in the criminal justice system. When available, it serves as a bargaining tool for the state. And when rarely applied, it's never enforced due to a highly inefficient appellate process. The notion that someone can plead guilty to a crime and still face years of appellate delays reveals a systemic failure. Latah County should be ashamed of its prosecutor's office. 4 wonderful young people lost their lives, yet the victims' families were treated as opponents from the outset. We weren't even called about the plea. We received an email with a letter attached. That's how Latah County's prosecutor's office treats murder victims' families. Adding insult to injury, they're rushing the plea, giving families just 1 day to coordinate and appear at the courthouse for a plea on July 2nd. After more than 2 years, this is how it concludes, with a secretive deal and a hurried effort to close the case without any input from the victims' families on the plea's details. Our family is frustrated right now, and that will subside, and we will come together as always and deal with the reality that we face moving forward. Once again, we thank everyone for their thoughts and prayers.
It's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking and frustrating for families that have to go through the loss, they go through the shock, and then they go through our system of justice. And again, each family dealing with it their own way. Each family has their own perspective on all of this. But that brings us to the first question in our investigation. How will this plea deal impact the families? Because it is a deal. Oh, he's getting something. Absolutely. Life is different than life on death row. Here to help answer that question, clinical and forensic psychologist Dr. John Paul Garrison and Dr. Janie Lacey, psychotherapist and CEO of Life Counseling Solutions. Great to have you both here. Dr. Janie Lacey, your initial thoughts here as to the Gonzalez family, as we hear some of their thoughts in all of this. How do you think this plea deal is going to impact them in the short term and the long term?
Well, Vinny, it's tough, right? When we consider just this is going to be a very emotional landscape for these victims' families. You know, when we think about a plea deal, there's lots of things that happen in these types of scenarios. Like on one hand, there's relief at avoiding the prolonged trauma of a lengthy trial for some families in that process, but it can re-traumatize families also repetitively seeing evidence presented and reliving in the court. But we'll see a lot of families struggle with it because the feelings that justice may not be fully served without a trial that can result in the maximal penalty, in this case, the death penalty. But, you know, what we also would see is what a lot of people would call this justice ambivalence, where the families desperately want, closure, but they also want answers, Vinny. So a plea deal might provide legal closure, but it's going to leave these families with a lot of emotional and I would say psychological questions that are going to be unanswered. So for the families of all 4 of the victims, they've been through an extraordinary amount of trauma, and their healing process can be deeply intertwined with their sense of justice being served. So when we just think about the elements to even begin their healing process, a lot of it has to do with safety, truth, and meaning making. And a plea deal may address some of those, but him being incarcerated, but it's going to complicate them seeking the truth. And when cases go to trial, families can get the more complete picture of what happened to their loved ones. When a plea deal, some of these details may never fully be explored in a public forum, Vinny. Yeah.
Dr. G, I want you to take a look at this. This is from CBS News, who spoke with Kaylee's best friend's parents, Maddie's family, Maddie Mogan. Mogan's father, Ben Mogan, told CBS News he was relieved to receive the letter regarding the plea deal that would keep the alleged killer in prison for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole. But for Mogan, the plea deal is justice. We can actually put this behind us and not have these future dates and future things that we don't want to have to be at, that we shouldn't have to be at, and that we have to do with this terrible person. We get to just think about the rest of our lives and have to try to figure out how to do it without Maddie and the rest of the kids. What are your thoughts, Dr. G, about how this plea deal is going to impact these families short-term and long-term?
Well, not surprisingly, we see a divergence in terms of how people handle this. Some people are going to feel out of control. Some families are going to feel like we've been robbed of the opportunity of him facing justice. And that loss of control is going to be a little bit re-traumatizing. On the other hand, there are families that are going to see this as some degree of at least beginning to heal, some degree of closure. And for them, they're going to be able to avoid being re-traumatized by the trial. So there's no good solution, but I think that having this plea deal is probably the most humane solution for the families that don't want to have to go back through it again.
Dr. Janie Lacey, this is from TMZ. This is from Xana Kernodle's family. Kim Kernodle, Xana's aunt, who was so furious she was in tears, told TMZ prosecutors floated the idea of a plea deal a few days ago, and the family made it clear, no way. When we spoke with Kim, she was on a conference call with prosecutors. She says prosecutors told her the defense approached prosecutors with a plea deal, and the prosecution went along to spare the families the pain of a trial. Kim says that's ridiculous because at least two of the families, hers and the Gonzalez families, wanted the suspect to face a jury. Kim says prosecutors were especially concerned that the families would have to see the gruesome crime scene photos of their loved ones, but she says, we know the graphic stuff. They were not trying to spare us. What I do know, Dr. Janie Lacey, in a lot of these trials, when those photos go up, a little heads up is given to the family and they can leave the room. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they look down. Sometimes they want to see it. Dr. Janie Lacey, what about the two families who are completely set against this? How do they get past this moment? How do they get past the actual plea and then the sentencing day?
You know, we said it, Vinny, in these cases, it's so important for us to understand, even with all four families, that each family member, they're going to respond differently to this plea deal. And like we just heard, some are going to feel relieved while avoiding the public spectacle and the media attention of this high-profile trial, where others are going to feel robbed. They're going to feel robbed of their day in court. But, you know, I think the key here is that each family have a meaningful voice in the process. And this is what also gets lost, because the families are the ones that have the voice for the ones that are voiceless in this moment, and that their victim impact, I believe, should be honored regardless of the legal resolution. And I think that's where this gets lost in all of this, because the victims, their families are the ones that represent them and give them a voice.
Absolutely. Dr. G, what are your thoughts about how this next hearing will be when you're in court and something is happening? Again, for the two families who don't want this to happen, you were there and you are watching this now take place. How difficult will it be for them to be there and remain under control?
That's a great question, and I think it's going to be very difficult, because I do imagine that there's going to be a lot of anger. There's going to be, and it's not like it's one person. There's whole families that are grieving, that are re-experiencing a lot of the feelings that probably came from the initial shock of finding out what happened. So there's going to be feelings that might surprise everybody that come out. That, yeah, I do think it's very possible that some very intense moments could happen. Somebody could speak up or yell or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, because I don't think any of us can accurately empathize with what it's like to go through something like this. And when, once again, you feel that loss of control, if you feel like you've been betrayed by the court system, I would imagine that they probably feel like they don't have to play by the rules. They may get quite angry themselves.
Yeah. And they do absolutely believe that sense of betrayal from the beginning. They even indicated there's some things that have happened that they haven't spoken about that will shock us when we learn about it. But we'll wait for that. In the meantime, Dr. G is going to stick around, I know, a little bit later in the show. Dr. Janie Lacey, always great to have you on. Thank you so much. Coming up next, can the families stop this plea?
We want a community that protects the most vulnerable.
want to understand the mind.
Moved to Idaho. You know, we want a community that protects the most vulnerable, and that's something that if a father can't protect them, then you hope that the society is willing to step up and do the right thing. So that's what we're looking for. The ultimate form of justice is that.
What Steve Gonzalez is looking for is the ultimate justice for an accused mass murderer who took the life of his daughter in a brutal, brutal way. And you wonder, Idaho has the death penalty. It's there, I presume, for the worst of the worst, or is it just there to be a negotiating tool for prosecutors? Wow. So he's disappointed. We know how he feels. Take a look at this from his Facebook page, though. This is the latest post before we went to air. We stand strong that it is not over until a plea is accepted. We will not stop fighting for the life that was stolen unjustly. If you feel called or moved to try to make a difference, please contact the Ada County Courthouse to express your thoughts or feelings. It is not over until it's over. We still have time to fight for a chance to heal. If you feel called or led, please contact those responsible for the decisions being made. Our understanding is that the voice mailbox is now full in all of this. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation. Can the family stop this plea? Do they have rights? Do they have the power? Do they have the influence to do it? Joining me to help answer this question tonight in our investigation, trial lawyer, former prosecutor Dave Leroy. Also with us, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Jack Rice, also a former CIA officer as well. All right, agent. Okay, Dave, let me start with you. You're out there, Idaho. You know the stuff inside out. You were the chief law enforcement officer of the state. Can the judge consider the families in accepting or rejecting this plea? Will the families have a voice at the plea hearing?
The families cannot stop the plea process. But in Idaho, we have very, very strong victims' rights provisions, both in our Constitution and our statutes. And so the victims will have, through their families, a very meaningful voice in these proceedings, even though they can't stop the process from going forward. That decision is controlled by the prosecutor. The families under our Idaho law, both Constitution and statute, have to be given notice of any substantial proceeding, have to have the right to appear, and most particularly have the right to articulate at hearings like sentencing hearings. So I would expect all four of these families, whether they approve of the process or disapprove of the process, to give very meaningful voice to their opinions, strongly held opinions, and describe their interests in terms of their loved one's outcome here. They can't stop the process.
Just for clarification before we get to Jack, Dave, so what you're saying is that would happen at the sentencing hearing, not at the change of plea hearing?
Arguably and specifically, they can have the right to articulate at a change of plea hearing as well.
Oh, okay.
I would expect Judge Hippler to allow that if they wish to express those opinions tomorrow or whenever that hearing is held.
Fantastic. Jack Rice, your thoughts on what is happening here? And obviously,
Fantastic,
the families aren't all on the same page. We know that Maddie's family is relieved.
Yeah,
but we
I
know
saw
that
the one with
Kaylee's
Ethan,
family and Xana's family not on board with this. I think Ethan's family may be okay with it. I haven't heard from them. But what are your thoughts tonight about what is happening in our system of justice with this plea agreement?
Vinny, it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on this one. Nobody wins. None of these families will ever be whole as a result of this, whether or not this were a death penalty case, whether or not they took this case to trial, whether or not he was sentenced to death or not. When we look at this, the real question now is sort of where we go next. I think a big part of this has to do with that victims advocacy and the voices of the victims. Even if the court, even if the judge allows and accepts this plea, what's critically important now are that the voices of these victims, of these families, be heard. I have to tell you, this is one of those brutal kinds of cases that every parent who has ever sent their kids to college with the idea that some stranger would break into their house and steal them. That is the nightmare of all nightmares. So my heart goes out to all of them, whichever side they're on, because this has been a brutal journey and will continue to be so.
Let me ask you, Dave, what is the purpose of the death penalty in Idaho? Is it for punishment, or is it merely a bargaining chip for prosecutors so they don't have to try the case?
Absolutely. It's for punishment in the ultimate cases, and certainly this is an ultimate case. On the other hand, this outcome can be explicable, is reasonable, is defensible also from a community point of view. It is not true that this young man will grow to be an old man with access to community activities and everything else that one could speculate. Indeed, he will be, I think, in solitary confinement for the rest of his life with no possibility of parole. It's important to emphasize here that there is no plea bargaining going on in terms of reducing the charges. There's no pleading to two of the crimes and dismissing the other two. This is everything but.
Just think. Do you guys remember watching that when he walked that Pennsylvania hallway, and that's all we got to see of him was when he came out of that little shuttle bus into the, into the doors and then through the hallway, because it was all Pennsylvania. You can't see anything courtroom. Just think about that now. Just think that feeling that you felt back there, 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And he knew that whole time walking down that damn hallway, he was guilty as sin. And we did too.
The death penalty
most of us did,
in
but,
this resolution, and it is defensible and explicable from that point of view, avoiding 2 weeks of jury selection, 3 months of a trial, perhaps 15 years of appeals. There are no winners, as counsel has said, in a murder case, but this is explicable.
Let me ask you, Jack, if a prosecutor doesn't seek the death penalty and offers this deal to this defendant, I mean, what defendant goes to trial facing the death penalty? Chad Daybell? Is that it? Is that the only one? Like, who, if not a mass murderer of 4 innocent people?
Yeah, that is always the difficult piece of this when we think about this individual versus the totality of those being charged. But at the same time, one of the benefits that you get out of this is certainty, because what would absolutely happen without question.
I get the certainty. I get the certainty. We're out of time, but I will just say 2 words about certainty of life without the possibility of parole. Menendez brothers.
Pine Box. We'll
coming soon to a freedom state near you. Thank you both so much. Great to see you, Dave and Jack. We'll have you again soon. Up next,
are they really letting the Menendez brothers out? I don't think they are.
Accused killer reveal why he did it.
No.
I'm Vinny Politan. We continue our investigation of the horrific, senseless mass murder of 4 young adults from the University of Idaho. Their alleged killer was facing a trial and a potential death sentence, but now it looks like the prosecution gave him a deal. Here's the story. The Idaho murder case of 4 University of Idaho students was poised for a high-stakes August trial until a plea deal crashed in like a thunderbolt. On June 30th, the accused agreed to plead guilty to all charges, receiving 4 life without parole sentences and an extra 10 years for burglary in exchange for avoiding the firing squad. But families were blindsided. The Gonsalves clan called it shocking and cruel and accused prosecutors of rushing a secretive deal weeks before the trial without meaningful input. Steve Gonsalves railed that while the accused killer avoids execution, their daughter's voice was silenced forever, calling the system a failure. Prosecutors defended their moves, citing overwhelming evidence and warning of potential appeals and trial trauma, arguing the deal guarantees swift justice. Yet the emotional rift remains. Some families embracing closure, others feeling robbed of accountability and pushed towards silence. It's tough, right? This deal, the reaction of the families to this deal, the reaction of the public to these deals as well. But there's something else happening here, and it's about the defendant. And what will this plea hearing be like? What will he say? What will he do? Well, we've seen him in court before with his attorney. Let's go back to May 22nd of 2023 at his arraignment.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
Okay, because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge. Counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
See, we could have settled this a long time ago if we just would have said, "Oh, you're not going to say not guilty. We're just going to have you put in guilty pleas." Then
that was at his arraignment, but now it's a change of plea. So I can't imagine that he will again be allowed to remain silent or stand silent. In many courtrooms, in front of many judges, when you plead guilty, you have to allocute. You have to reveal what you did.
Well,
and that brings us to the next question in our investigation. Will the accused killer reveal why he did it? If he sets forth the factual basis and admits his guilt, will he ever, either in court or out of court, talk about why he did it? Here to help answer that question, clinical and forensic psychologist, Dr. Gary Brucato. He's also the author of The New Evil. Also with us, clinical and forensic psychologist, Dr. John Paul Garrison, Dr. G. All right, Dr. Gary Brucato, we've seen killers, mass killers, serial killers plead guilty before. I just want to remind everyone about what happened when the BTK killer, or Dennis Rader, BTK, was in court for his guilty plea. What happened? Let's take a look.
I told her that I used the roots of being wanted. I was on the run. I needed food, car, warmth, warm up. And I asked her, I handcuffed her and kind of talked to her, told her that I would like to get some food, get her keys to her car, and kind of rest assured, talk with her a little bit.
Where's his eyebrows?
A little bit. And
what's up with the eyebrows?
Then eventually I checked, I think she was still handcuffed. I went back and checked out where the car was, stimulated getting some food, odds and ends in the house that I was leaving. Then went back and removed her handcuffs and then tied her up. And then eventually strangled her.
What did you strangle her with?
Pantyhose.
What happened then?
Kind of like Mrs. Hedge. I already figured out I had a plan on leaving and put her in a blanket and drug her to the car, put her in the trunk of the car.
So you were able to strangle her to death with these pantyhose?
Yes, sir.
That was a shocking moment none of us are going to forget. And I just wanted to remind the folks at home what can happen at one of these plea hearings. What are your thoughts, Dr. Gary Brucato, about the accused Idaho 4 killer? Do you think he will ever reveal why he did it, either in court or in any other scenario?
Never.
Well, what's a little complicated about the question is that we're not fully sure of the motive. We have something of a catch-22 there. If the motivation is similar to what it is that I've been speculating about for some years now, we would expect that this individual has motivations that look a lot more like those of a serial killer than somebody committing an isolated mass murder. With an individual of that type, giving them any forum in which they are, number one, expected to tell the truth, number two, given a chance to kind of relish in details, recall details publicly, receive attention, is always problematic. And in this particular individual, there is such a scientific, detached, mechanical quality that the relaying of details, if they are true, would be probably very painful for the people listening, because as human beings, we have a tendency to anticipate that there will be emotion, some degree of remorse, some tearfulness, some regret. What I think you'd see here is a mechanical, callous, detached presentation of facts, as if you're talking about amoeba in a petri dish. And I think that would be extremely painful. I also believe that underneath everything that would be seen in that sort of tone is this colossal ego that ultimately would enjoy this. It's part of what is so frustrating about the way this story turned out, is you're going to wind up with an individual that now is sitting in an isolated place and able to join the pandemonium of criminals that will receive fan mail, love letters, book requests, etc.
Yeah, I agree. Dr. G, what are your expectations about what we will hear from this accused Idaho 4 killer in court and perhaps afterwards down the road?
As far as in court, I think he will be very literal with whatever the judge asks for. I don't think that he's going to provide a lot of superfluous details. I think similar to BTK, he really enjoys his intellect, so he might provide extreme detail if that's what's asked for. But I don't think that we'll ever have the full truth outside of court, outside of these days. I think that he's going to want power, so he's going to hold on to a lot of the true motivations. You look at guys like Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, they always told lies. They would have confessions, they would have interviews, and so much of what they said wasn't true. So there's lots of motivations they've talked about that were complete nonsense, and I could see something similar happening here. So ever having a truly meaningful or satisfying answer, I think, is unlikely.
Dr. Bucato,
I wonder if the cops will come out from Pennsylvania and if they'll say anything. Like, remember how he supposedly said, like, can we have coffee after this? Like, something like that. Was anybody else arrested? Things of that nature. I wonder if we'll ever, if someone will come forward and say, like, yeah, he was like the officer that they're trying to subpoena over to Idaho. Thanks for being a member for so long, Sherry. Look at that, member for 7 months. Hey, Cindy. Okay, I'll keep playing. I was reading the chat.
He got caught. Do you think that this was the first time? Do you think there is any sense that he may have attempted something previously? Is that something you think he would ever reveal, or his future intentions if he had not gotten caught?
The behavior and the motivation that were glimpsed are so much like those of a sexually motivated serial killer that I am fairly certain that there was some degree of sexualized fantasy that was at the root of whatever happened here. But what it seems to me was intended to occur got messed up because of bad intel, planning, people being there that weren't supposed to be there, and you wind up with a mass murder and no satisfaction of the fantasy that probably had been intended. If that is true, that is somebody that you would anticipate would keep going on to other offenses, because the point is to play out a fantasy over and over again and make it more and more perfect. A big clue of that, for example, is the particular type of pornography that we learned from the Dateline episode was present on his cell phone that he had been viewing. The cosplaying Bundy and studying other offenders certainly could be something you'd see in someone who's studying criminology, but we don't dress up as them, cosplay as them like we're at Comic-Con. That was a little strange. And there are many other things that point in that direction. I don't believe that he previously did. We have no indication of that whatsoever. But the personality type that appears to be present and the behaviors and motivations that seem to be present are those typical of somebody who, if not caught, would continue playing out that fantasy over and over again. And in fact, we even saw a potential signature element, which is something totally unnecessary for the commission of the offense, done only for psychosexual fantasy, which was taking the time to carve up the hamstrings of the male victim before leaving when he should have been getting out of Dodge. For those of us who are in the world of studying serial killers, we know that that was absolutely unnecessary beyond some kind of weird experimentation or hostility that a male messed up this sexualized fantasy, got in the way of the fantasy. So when we see those kind of signature elements and all of that, we start thinking this is a fantasy-driven thing, and you don't stop that.
Dr. G, why do you think he decided, and it seems like he decided to take a deal once offered? Is it, do you think, fear of the firing squad? Do you think it's to be able to control the outcome to a certain extent? What do you think it is?
I think that's exactly it. It gives him some degree. It's actually the only degree of control he really has at this point, because they probably had him dead to rights, I'm guessing. And so at this point, I'm sure that there was the satisfaction of, okay, well, at least I get to decide my own fate, and at least I get to survive. A lot of people that would have committed something like this wouldn't be able to live with themselves. They probably wouldn't even care if they survived. But for somebody like this, survival is really his only drive at this point. So the idea of firing squad versus staying in prison forever, the idea of the death penalty is just beyond unacceptable to somebody like that.
Big thank you to Dr. John Paul Garrison, Dr. G. Incredible work on YouTube. You can check it out, folks. I always do. Thanks so much. Dr. Gary Brucato is going to stay with us. Still to come, what will life be like for the accused killer in prison?
Do you understand the charge in count 2, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you
He will be back in his jail clothes too for sentencing. No more ties, no more button-down shirts, no more slacks, no more socks that match probably your ties, no more nice shoes. You're getting a pair of Crocs and you're getting an orange jumpsuit until they ship you off to prison.
understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Ask mom to put commissary money on. You probably don't even need mom. I'm sure there's plenty of ladies that will do it.
We want to understand the mindset behind your act. I did it. You think you should operate? 11.
Putting commercials.
The maximum penalty for this offense, if you were to plead guilty or be found guilty, is death or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes. 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 No. Yes.
Mr. Kohberger, do you understand the charge in count 1, burglary?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 2, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 3, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you
I hope he breaks his teeth off at night when he grinds them so much.
understand the charge in count 4, murder in the first degree?
Mama
Yes.
Kohberger.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the
Yes.
first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Hey, Daphne. Welcome in.
Well, the accused Idaho 4 killer will not be getting the maximum penalty. The maximum penalty is the death penalty. And it looks like everything is moving towards all indications that prosecutors have offered life without the possibility of parole, 4 consecutive life sentences, and he has accepted. So that means it looks like life in prison without the possibility of parole, unless the law changes somewhere, and it does sometimes, like it did in California. That brings us to the next question in our investigation. What will life be like for the accused killer in prison? What's the day-to-day going to be like psychologically? Where is he going to be? Helping us to answer this question, clinical and forensic psychologist, Dr. Gary Brucato, and also joining us, Sam Mangle, federal white-collar advisor and sentencing mitigation expert. Sam, let me start with you. What do you think life is going to be like behind bars for this notorious killer, mass murderer?
So I can sum it up in 2 words, pure hell. I often, probably 98% of my clients are white-collar offenders. And the first question they ask is, am I going to be safe? Am I going to be okay? Can my family come and visit? And my answer is, don't worry. It's not like what you see on TV. It's not like Oz, Shawshank Redemption, even Orange is the New Black for female offenders. Well, for this young man, it is going to be exactly like that. And for those who say that he's getting off easy by not facing the jury and possibly getting the death penalty, it would not surprise me that at some point, probably sooner than later, he wishes that his life would be over because of the situation he's in. And if he goes to a facility like Idaho maximum security, he will not be a high-profile individual like you might see on television now in the federal system with a Mangione or a Combs. There are going to be inmates there who have daughters or sons that were the age of these children that were murdered. And in comes a relatively thin young white man, well-educated, and he's going to stand out like a sore thumb. And every day of his life, he's going to be extorted. He's going to possibly be in danger. And the alternative is to go into some sort of protective custody or solitary confinement, which even then is a terrible existence. And I'm sure, as any clinical psychologist will tell you, not being in general population and being in a secluded environment like that can easily drive someone to the point of suicide or it's a very dangerous situation.
Dr. Gary Brucato, what are your thoughts about what life will be like for him in prison and what his mindset will be? Will he enjoy anything? What do you think will happen here?
Well, first of all, one of the things that
you know what he's going to do? He's going to end up being the new lawyer for the jail.
Puzzled me about the deal that was made is that Kohberger is somebody who, as I understand it, a board-certified neuropsychologist, was diagnosed with autism, which would have, under Atkins, made a pretty good argument for the death penalty being taken off the table in the state of Idaho anyway. So that it was odd to me, certainly not a guarantee, but it's interesting to me that an attempt wasn't made to try to get away with the offense. And then if it didn't work out, to try to say, I can't be executed for that reason. I think the autism diagnosis will also serve him well as somebody who does mitigation cases in my own forensic practice. I think it may also do him some service in the sense that an argument could be made that to have him in the general population in a overstimulating environment, an unpredictable environment, so forth, could be bad for his mental health. Whether you believe the diagnosis or not is another question. I have not examined him. But if he does indeed have that diagnosis and the argument is made that that mitigation is necessary, he may theoretically wind up in a more isolated situation. I think that if he is isolated, it'll be a much more pleasurable existence than people realize, beyond the awful things that Sam's mentioning, because what you have is an individual who, I've always said, kept 2 victims alive and killed 4, partly because he saw himself as a kind of arbiter of who lives and dies, kind of like a godlike figure. And in the end, he let himself live. The way he arbitrated is that he gets off the hook and gets to, from death.
Yeah.
And I think that what will happen now is having the opportunity to be a kind of center of attention figure, even though it may be painful, there'll be that sort of extra element. And I'm picturing a kind of Dennis Rader-like situation, a little more isolated, letters, autographs, admitting it, finally, because you have somebody who's living a double life, as he was. There's a strange relief in the mask coming off and being able to say, you know what? This is the Grim Reaper figure that I actually am, and I'm proud of it. Let me just tell you how I did it. Let me help the scientists and talk about, myself. And I think you're going to have a lot of that. And I think that's what's so sickening about the way this sort of seems to have turned out.
Sam, we have about...
Look at those eyebrows. Now, this picture was taken the day after, or the day of the murders, pretty much that morning, right? This is him yesterday. I'm telling you. Why did the judge not point this out and say, Kohberger, I mean, where's your brows, sir? Brows. Is he trying to make like Dylan feel like she's going nuts? Was that like, I mean, I don't know. That to me, if I was Dylan, I would be looking at the pictures going like, what is like, I mean, don't do that if she's listening. I don't think she is, but like I would be like second guessing myself. I'd be like, let me see these other pictures of him because look at this one. Those are prominent eyebrows. But then at court, no brows today.
A minute left here. On a more practical level, my understanding is that he was, or maybe still is, a vegan. How about that? The vegan diet and the practicalities of what that'll be like for the rest of his life. Do they have nice offerings?
So both the federal and state prison systems are tremendously underfunded. Will they have tofu for him to eat? Sure. He might get tofu. Will they have rice? He might get rice. And on commissary, he might be able to buy, certain things if they're not taken from him from other inmates. But he certainly will not have a salad bar with fresh vegetables or pizza being brought into him. It is a miserable existence, even if he is put into a more psych-oriented ward in that facility. And I've had clients that are in psych wards in both state and federal facilities. And when they're not around other inmates, the lack of social stimulation is a horrible, horrible thing for them to go through. And chances are he won't have access to family for quite some time. He's not going to have, in my opinion, fans that are reaching out to him.
We're out of time, but Sam, everything you're saying, a lot of the viewers are happy to hear tonight. And we appreciate your insight. Dr. Gary Brucato, thank you as well. Sam Mangle, appreciate it. Whether you are for or against the death penalty is really irrelevant to this case. The people of Idaho chose to put the ultimate punishment on the books for the worst of the worst, like, a mass murderer. But now prosecutors have used it as a bargaining chip in this case, rather than as actual punishment for 4 horrific murders. I wonder if that is why the people of Idaho chose to have the death penalty in their state, or if it is just makes it easier for everyone to just, wrap up the case. I'm Vinny Politan. We'll dig for the answers.
He's pissed. Oh, Vinny. Vinny wasn't happy. He was not happy. I do think that the families got gypped in this situation. I even think the 2 families that are okay with the plea deal, I do think in time they may regret that decision. Because this was all done just so quickly. It didn't give anybody any time, like the family members, to even be able to grieve the fact that they're not going to have a trial. Like, that's a whole other process to grieve, and you're not going to be able to see this all the way through. And like, if that's in your mind, if that's been in your mind since day one, like, take Steve, for instance. We all know that Steve has been like a dog with a bone with this case. Like, he has been on it since the beginning. I just hope that the families are able to, heal and collectively still be able to be around one another. Because you have Maddie's family who say that they're okay with the, with the plea, and then you got the Gonzalez's are not okay with the plea. And those 2 families were, really close at one time. Like, their daughters were, like daughters to each other. So I just would hate to see families being broken up even more because of this. I was like, what was that? And I saw Peels, and I was like, what? I don't think he'll be separated from other people in prison. I think in the beginning that you are. I think he will be in the beginning to get evaluated and stuff like that. But I don't think it'll be for any amount of time, like a long amount of time. I think it'll just be a couple of days, and then he'll be there. So. Right. Hey, Ava. BK definitely qualifies for that. Was he? Sandy, I didn't see him. I saw some of the interviews that he did. Oh, thank you, Sherry, for gifting out 5 memberships. Welcome in, everybody. I'll have to gift out some more tomorrow. And then what do our members give away tomorrow? Let's do that tomorrow. Let me write that down. I have it written down, but let me put My dog is snoring so loud. If I wasn't on camera, you guys would think I was sleeping. Oh, she's had a long day too, you know. They can feel it whenever I feel it. Hey, UA. Look at her back there. I don't know. She needs like a little light shown on her because she's so gray. Oh, she just stretched. She makes me smile. Thanks, Otto. I love this tan. I love this weather. I love being dark. I only use bronzing drops. That's the only kind of makeup I use. And I use some blush and stuff like that. But yeah. I'm loving the summer. I even went out to the pool today. Like I didn't stay out very long. I just went out for a minute, but I was like, I'm going to stay out here for a couple hours. And then I stayed out for like an hour and I was like, I'm going to go in. I was just ready to come up here because I thought I was going to go to the store and stuff, but then Vincent ended up going. So I was like, cool. It was done too fast. Oh, Kaylee, that's sweet. I know. I wanted to, I was thinking today, I was like, I should have went and got some like yellow tulips or something. Might have to get some. Because I can't plant them. Like I can't plant bulbs. I don't have anywhere to, I guess if I got a bulb thing for the patio or like the balcony, but I don't have them where I can just do them. I love bronzing drops. I love them. There's a couple brands that I use. I don't want to say one's better than the other because I think it's just the brand. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the brand. But I have, since we're done with Idaho tonight, I do have two that I use. I use like one when I'm a little bit lighter and it's by the brand Versed, which I have a lot of stuff by them. I have a lot of stuff that I put on my face at night from that brand. It's called Versed, Versed. And then I have this. So I've got these Drunk Elephant bronzing drops, which are really good. And then I use it with this peptide cream. And this was, if you go to Sam's, this is a lot cheaper than if you go to like Ulta or you go to Sephora. Just let you know. Or if you shop the products in my product thing, it'll be there. I don't know if the bronzing drops are on there though. I don't think they are. You like the Versed products? I do too. I don't know Xana's favorite color. I think it was purple because I think that's what I did my nails last year for. And I'm going to earn it, not purple. Nope, it wasn't. That's Kaylee. So, why did I think that? I've been thinking that all day. I think someone said I did ruby red. I think I did red for her, but I don't know if that's her like favorite color. So I don't know what this year I'll do. But oh yes, the Ladybug, I saw you said you like the Maui Babe. I love it. I need to get some more. I bet you Elf makes, yeah, I bet you they're good. Like that's what I was gonna say. Like the Versed ones, I think are just as good as like the Drunk Elephant ones, maybe. But the Drunk Elephant ones are just better right now because they're darker for me. You know what I mean? And they match my skin better. And you only need like 2 little drops and like 1.5 little like pumps of this. So this will last like forever and a day. That'll last me like months. It should. It better. And I actually got this in a gift box that I got. So I do like them. Otto, I do like the Drunk Elephant products. They're expensive, but I like them. Oh, I don't know. I know that I heard that like BK's dad was consoling her, but I didn't know if maybe she does have needed a hearing device. Ooh. See, Kaylee, I need to go back there. Vincent likes to go to Sephora now. I've got him on this skincare kick. Yes. It only took us 10 years to be on the same level with skincare. Like, I've never actually, I'm going to lie. I've only been doing like really good with my skincare the last like 3 years, I would say. But guys don't usually do anything, like, right? Like they don't, if they wash their face, that's good. But he's been washing his face twice a day and he's been putting on his little hydro boost, and it has his SPF in it. And he came in today, he's like, I forgot my stuff. I was like, yeah, your skin looks terrible. I was just kidding with him. I was just totally kidding with him. But no, I think it's cute because now we can both go to Sephora, and he likes to go to Sephora now. Like he will like use the samples. The men's samples are never used, or you all are just really clean. You clean up after yourself. Like his little samples are perfect, and then you go over to my side, and it's just like looks like a bomb went off. I have to go there to look. Well, if you have any makeup recommendations, let us know because I need them. I don't know if anyone else needs them in the chat, but I do. I need them. Your secret is head and shoulders. So, guys can get away with stuff. Some girls can though too. Like I feel like I have like a bunch of products and stuff I put on. I probably don't need half of them, but they make me feel good. They make me feel good. And I put my I'm going to do a video on this, but I put my stuff beside my nightstand. Like I have drawers in my nightstand, and I put my skincare stuff in there because at the end of the night, I don't want to stand up and put a bunch of skincare on. You know what I mean? So I just do them on the bed. Ooh, if you had the opportunity to ask someone convicted of murder something, what questions would you have? I was actually going to do kind of a live over that. I had a canvas sheet printed out. I would probably ask. Well, the only thing I could think of right now is Kohberger and why, but I feel like I know that, you know. I would ask Kohberger if he was planning on doing this again. Like, were you gonna if you got away with the 4, were you gonna proceed and do more? Like, or were you only going to be a mass murderer and not a serial? But the why would probably be like, why do you do it? But I think we all know with Kohberger. I still think that Maddie was his target. I think he went straight to her room. I don't think that because Kaylee really wasn't even supposed to be there. She was just there to show her car and stuff like that. So I don't know. For some reason, that's what it leads me to believe. And then the noises that Dylan heard, she thought it was Kaylee playing with the dog. That's when Bryan's up there doing the things. And then Xana hears the same thing, probably at the same time as Dylan. Dylan's in her bedroom though, and Xana may be coming through the kitchen to sit her bag down. So she sits her bag down and she's like, what's that noise? I'm going to go up and check. And that's when she goes up. Maybe she goes around that corner because there's that corner around the stairs. Maybe she rounds that corner and he comes out of the bedroom and he's up at the top of the stairs and he sees her and he chases her down. I think Xana, out of everyone, probably got it the worst. I think she knew, you know what I mean? And she was the only one that was like running away and that we know of and stuff. I mean, we know that Kaylee was found in the bed in the corner, slumped over. Maddie was laying down from, all accounts that we know of. And then Ethan was asleep. Yeah, he was about to order another knife. So was it because you were going to commit another crime, or was it because you're replacing the sheath? Were you just going to throw that knife in? I don't know. But he probably would have done it again. Yeah. Yeah. She'll just think like I can't even like when it's dark, like if I'm laying in bed and I think something spooky's happening, you know what I mean? I'll spook myself like just like that. Right. And you like get all like nervous. You're like, oh my gosh, is there a ghost in here or something, like spooking yourself, like shadows or something. But like the thought of actually somebody physically chasing me and then she was running to her boyfriend. That's so sad. I bet she thought she could reach Ethan. You know what I mean? Like, or she probably would have never even ran that way. So sad. So Dana Smithers, they said that it wasn't connected. We went through it and stuff, through the case and everything, but like through her case, and they said that there was no connection. So was that? I thought that was Olivia, but I was like, no. Jeez Louise, she's lost a lot of weight. Oh my goodness. I wish I had those pictures still up from the Fox article. Wow. She looks like one of the Morphew girls. Oh, and Barry went to court the other day for Suzanne Morphew's case. We're going to get it. We'll start deep diving into that case as well. It's very interesting. It is very, very interesting. But what was it? Oh, but only one of his daughters, I guess, showed up. I don't know if the other one is backing out and saying, I don't believe dad anymore, or if she just couldn't make it or what. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. I really appreciate that so much. Yeah, Barry, he's a whole damn joke. And then I've been watching stuff on Crystal Rogers' case today, and they are like, things are getting done. I don't know. It's just so weird because it's just been so long with Crystal's case. It was like 9 years or something like that. It's been so long. I can't even remember exactly when. I believe it's been like 9 years though. Me too, Otto. I think so too. Oh, thanks, Mama Moon Dust. I appreciate that. I think I'll come on tomorrow sometime. Maybe we'll do a day stream again and just do something fun. You know, it's so complex, Trips. Oh my gosh, I'm going to need help on that one if I start doing it. Like, because I've taken like parts off, you know what I mean? Like with the trial, especially, like I need to get caught up on the trial. So I might just sit by the pool today or tomorrow all day and just listen to the coverage because they're not actually having cameras in there. So people are reporting like afterwards. But yeah, there was no mention of his legs being carved. Yeah. I think they just left that out. I mean, he didn't really go into details about any of the injuries. He didn't talk about like Kaylee being punched in the face and being unrecognizable. And so, but we do know there's a lot of people in this case that told a lot of lies. Yeah, I think we need, I think we need to have some fun. I think so too. I think that Brooks needs to go to prison, but that's just me. I think his brother needs to go with him too, and his mama and his grandmama. They all involved. It's like a family affair. It's crazy. I got bit by something right here on my wrist. Can you see it? That little bump. And I just keep scratching it and I can't stop. So if you guys see me like just going to town, that's what I'm doing. Or if I'm rubbing it, I'm like, I've been scratching it all night. Oh, you know what? I can use this. Someone said alcohol. This has alcohol in it. Don't tell the doctor I used that. They'll have shackles on him and cuffs. They will have that on Bryan when he goes in. Oh, it's like slide down my arm. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump off of here, but I'll be back on tomorrow evening or tomorrow during the day. Maybe we'll do our members giveaway and we'll talk about the fundraiser that we'll do for Xana on her birthday because it falls on a Saturday. So I think that'd be a good time to do one, and we'll do one for each victim. And what else? I think that's all. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. If I don't see you, have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see you guys all in the next live. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how.